Hi, I'm Carlin Smith with Robotronics, and today we're going to do an instructional video of how to operate your Freddie robot. First, we'd like to give a big thank you to Odessa Fire Rescue and also to Firehouse Subs for sponsoring their robot. Hey Freddie!
Hey Carlin, how are you doing?
Great! Let's show them how you operate.
Okay, let's do it.
Here's your carrying case. Let's look inside. First of all, the one important thing to notice is the position of the RC. You want the antenna this direction, not that direction. That's when you pick it up, then it won't be resting on the antenna. Here's your headset for speaking and hearing. This is the LCD interface. Here we have the 151, which is the hearing side for your robot. You're going to plug into the one that says headphone, and here's the UHF, and you'll plug into there. Make sure that you turn your units off after you're done operating them, otherwise your batteries will go dead. For knowing which cord plugs into which, the blue talk is going to go into your UHF unit, and then the other one that doesn't have a label goes into the 151. Over here we have the charger for the battery of the RC, and it has two different adapters. This way you can charge the battery directly. This other adapter here, if you take the first one off and put this one on, then it allows you to charge the battery while it's in the RC. When it's time to charge your battery, you're going to use this charger right here, and we'll connect the negative lead to the negative terminal and the positive lead to the positive terminal. The light here will turn on saying that it's charging. When it's completely done charging, that light will turn green, and when the robot battery is done being charged, you'll take those off and then lift the battery up into the robot. We have these straps that go over the top of the battery to keep it secure. Snaps in there and then cinches down to keep the battery from sliding around. And then the battery plugs in here, red to red, black to black, and you're good to go. For charging the battery for the RC, we're going to use this charger here. And there's two different adapters. If you're charging the battery outside of the RC, which is the most common way, just plug this in like this, and you'll see that the light on the charger comes on. It will just stay on the entire time you have a battery plugged in. There's no real indication that it's done charging, but it takes about 4 to 6 hours, and then the battery should be done. Don't charge the battery for more than 14 hours. If you want to charge the battery in the RC itself, then you use this adapter, get on there, and then on the side of the RC is that right there, and it plugs in like that to charge. The two voice pieces for the robot both operate off of 9-volt batteries. To replace the batteries in the UHF unit, you press down and push up like that. Because there's no connector on the battery, you have to be careful when you put it in to make sure that the plus side is down here on this one, and you set it down like that and push that back in place. On the 151, the compartment is on the back side. Press here, pull out, and this ribbon, let's pull it out this way. Again, when you put it in, there's a little thing inside here that can help you see which side is supposed to be the plus one, and the plus is down here on this one. Make sure your battery is in the correct direction when you put it on. Hold that ribbon up over and then slide this back into place. Here's the inside of the robot. We're going to go over some of the major components. Here's your power switch for turning it on. The audio components. This is your voice receiver, and this is the voice modifier. So the audio comes from the voice receiver through the voice modifier into this, which is the audio mixer board. Over here we have the MP3 player board, and this is where your SD card goes. If you want to take it out, you turn the robot off, push that in, pull it out like that, and then you're ready to put it back in just like that. The last component for your audio, this is the amplifier for your robot. Over here, this is considered the main board of the robot that receives all the signals from the RC receiver and sends out the commands to the different boards. This is your power distribution board. It sends out power to the different boards at the voltages that they need. This is your motor control board, and this is your servo on-off board. Okay, here's the tank for your water squirter, and the tubing comes over to here. This is the pump for your water squirter. Underneath the pump, the water squirter, down here is your system that goes from the robot back to the person. It's velcroed under there, and has its microphone wire comes up under here, and the microphone's right there. This is the LCD interface, and we use it for changing some of the settings in the robot, making adjustments. To connect it, we look for the pins here, and then we line them up there, and then screw it on like that. And then after it's plugged in, then we'll turn it on. The first thing that will come up is the version of code that's in the robot. We press select, then we can go in and see which things we can change. So there's random modes, which allows us to change whether the eyes blink on their own or not. And here we have set the drives. If for some reason the robot isn't driving completely straight, we can adjust it. Typically that's taken care of in the factory, and you won't need to worry about that. The drive limit switch changes just a little bit how the robot responds to the remote control. And here we have flashing eyes. Some people like the eyes to flash when you're talking to help emphasize that he's talking, and some people don't like the flashing, so you can turn that on and off in there. And that's all the modes. For putting the Freddie top on, there's going to be 4 pins that hold the Freddie top in place, and there's holes here, 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 and here that those pins line up with. And also, after we get the top on, then we're going to plug this cable into here, and it's just like the LCD interface where you see where the holes, the pins line up, push it down, and then screw it on. So I'm going to lift the top up, set it in place, and reach inside and press the pins. These up here can be a little bit trickier. You have to get used to feeling where they're at. And then I find the cable. See which direction the pins are facing. Then set it down. I can feel it click into place, and then I twist it until it stops. For operating your robot, you're going to need to turn on the RC. When you first turn on the RC, the switches need to be in the correct position. It's going to start out with the switch air. These 3 switches need to be pushed away, and then this switch pulls toward you will turn off the switch air. These buttons down here you won't need to worry about. They get you into some menu settings. Those have all been set, and you don't want to get in there and start making changes to that. Here is your stick for driving the robot. When we push forward, the robot's going to go forward. Pull it back this way, the robot will go backwards, and then the stick side to side will cause the robot to turn. This stick over here is for controlling your eyes and eyelids. The stick going side to side is going to cause the eyes to move side to side. If we pull the stick all the way down, both eyelids are going to close. If we come up here and to one side, then that will close the right eyelid. And then if we come over this direction over here, it's going to close the left eyelid. These 4 switches up here are for turning on and off certain parts of the robot. This switch, when you press it down, will turn the headlights on the robot. If you press it again, then it'll turn it off. And pushing it up is going to turn on the light bar on the top, and then pressing it again will turn it back off. You don't use this switch in the Freddie robot. This switch over here, when you press up, it's going to start your water squirter for as long as you hold it up. When you let go, then it's going to turn off. If you press this switch down, that's going to activate your siren or sound effect that you have dedicated to be your siren. To control the MP3 player, we're going to use these same 4 switches, but we're going to hold this switch up, and now this switch, when it's pressed up, will start playing the current track. If you press down, it's going to stop it. If a track is playing when you press up, then that will pause it, and then pressing it again will unpause it. This switch here will advance tracks forward and backwards on your MP3 player, and then these switches over here, you can play 4 different sound effects where each one will be triggered depending on the position that you push it in. These 2 knobs up here are your volume control for the MP3 player. When you turn it all the way down, you'll still hear some audio on the MP3 player. It helps people know that it's still working and not think that it's stopped working. Over here we have the volume control for the voice. If you turn it all the way down, it will mute your voice so that you can't hear the operator at all. That way, if you need to talk to somebody next to you for a second, you can just turn that down, and then when you're done talking to them, you can turn it back up. These switches here are really important to know about, particularly this one right here. Never ever press this one. If you press this one, the robot will self-destruct.